Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to Leadership Podcast. This is the Sports Orbit, where we talk about all the latest news happening in the world of sports. I am Olawale Ayene. I'll be your host for today's show, and with me is Salifu Usman, who is the sports editor, Leadership newspaper, and also I have Alpha Ocho here with me. Sorry, Alpha Achu here with me. Sorry, I beg your pardon. How you doing, Alpha?
I'm fine.
How you doing,
Good to be
Salifu?
here.
I'm fine. It's good to be here.
Okay, we start with the news coming from Tokyo that is talking about the Olympic Games, where Team Nigeria has arrived at the Tokyo Olympics game village. We all know that the team were in Kazarazu, where they were actually putting final preparation to the training ahead of the start of the Olympics. We know that the Olympics will be starting July 23. That will be when
right.
games will be starting. Hopefully, we should have the opening ceremony at around July 26. There about what do you think of the Team Nigerian contingent to the Olympics? We know that fans are not going to be allowed at the Olympic Games. We know that when fans are in the Olympics, because we know that the Olympics is for the athletes and also the fans and themselves. But looking at that Team Nigeria, do you think they can actually deliver even without the fans actually coming out to support them? Salifu, I'll start with you.
Yeah, it is good that the team Nigeria contingents have arrived in the game village 5 days to the opening ceremony, which is on Friday. And after the team departed Nigeria, they went to Kisarazo, where they perfect their training, and now they are back. Now they are the full. They are the game village ahead of the game, and we should keep up on Friday by God willingly. And as it stands now, even the president of Nigeria Olympic Committee, the president of Nigeria Abu Gume, was also arriving at the camp at the same time where the Nigeria contingent arrived at the game village yesterday, and he addressed the team, charging them that they should be trying to deliver what we are there for. They are representing the image of Nigeria, and they call the whole image of Nigeria at their head, and they should ensure that they deliver the game, and that Nigerians are fully behind them. I think it is good that the team arrived 5 days before the opening ceremony.
The team actually arrived 5 days before the opening ceremony. Nigeria will be competing in about 9 sports thereabout, and we are expected to actually win some medals according to what the sports ministers have said, according to what sport stakeholders have said right about now. But Alpha, do you think we have the quality of athletes, because we will be participating in the Olympics with 58 athletes? Do you think we have the quality of athletes to actually to deliver medals? We know that our last outing at the Rio Olympic, we were able to win just 1 bronze medal in the football event, and sadly, the football team will not be going at the Olympics. So, are you confident that we are going to win medals at the Olympics?
Well, to be sincere with you, and honestly, I am not really confident about our team to the Olympics, because the only sports where I'm expecting a medal might be athletics. If our football team was there, someone way or the other might be hoping that maybe at least a bronze or something. And before I even go on, I kind of have some problems with even the discrepancies in the way they arrived Tokyo. I mean, the first batch left around the 6th of June, and this almost like over a month, another batch just arrived Tokyo. Why not everybody going all at the same time? And even the issue of kids, I understand that even the kids got to them just like some 2 days ago. I mean, this is not too good. And I think things like this are not things that really boost the morale of, the athletes, going to these games. But good one, I think the best part of it is they are already in Tokyo. And as the game commences on Friday, let's see what these people, the stuff they're made of, and let's see what the kind of performances they're going to put up. And I'm sure the Ministry of Sports must have given them adequate, support and motivation to do Nigeria proud at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
Yeah, you just made mention of the kids. I just have to talk about the kids right about now, because we know that when we saw the team arrive in Tokyo, they were not actually in uniform.
They were actually wearing mufti.
Some of them are wearing mufti and all that. Where some other African countries, we saw them with their kids and all that, dressing sharp. And also we know that Nigeria they were contracted to a local, base manufacturer that actually produce kits for Team Nigeria, where we have the likes of the other countries coming in with Nike, with Puma, with Adidas. With the kids in any way, affect or bring down the morale of the athletes when they start competing, Salifu?
In the area of that kid, and I wanted to sound a big difference. For instance, if the idea of contracting the kid manufacturer to a local base, there's nothing wrong about that one. Remember when a government that preached we should eat what we can produce. So the father either give it to a foreign companies or a local bit does not arise. Give it to our local. If you have a kid manufacturer in a local country, in our home here that can produce, at least it is better. And if you take in the area of say the team arrive in different multi and all those that may affect the performance of the athlete, I don't think that will be. At the same time, as I was speaking at the moment, the kid has arrived, given to the teams, and they continue with the team. And in the area of say the team left in batches. Yes, remember in Olympic game, all sports don't start at the same time. There are some even events that will not start until the last week of the game. So there's no need that all your contingents will depart at the same time. And most of the team, the contingent that left on the 6th of this month, we went for a Kizarazu for a training camp. Not that they went to the game village at the same time. That is why you see that some of them arrived like that. All of them went to the Kizarazu for a training camp. It's the training camp in Kizarazu where they have been for almost 20 days now. That they are now moving to the game village proper ahead of the game. Even as we speak, not all the 59 athletes that will represent Nigeria that are already in the game village. There are some that have there are some athletes that are still not even yet in Tokyo because their event is not starting at the moment. And that is why you're having the team arriving in badges, depending on where you are going to start. Because when the game started on Friday, event they'll start event like judo, gymnastics, and these are the first judo, gymnastics, and taekwondo. And these are the football. Football will start before the opening ceremony.
Yes,
football will start on 23. Will start on 22 precisely.
Okay, you have said there are the kids and the arrival of athletes will not in any way affect the performance of Team Nigeria when they begin hostilities at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Still talking about the Tokyo Olympic Games, one man is coming out to say special bonuses await Team Nigeria medalists at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. This is actually coming from the sports minister, Sunday Dari, that special bonus has been packaged for the athletes. Will this anyway boost the morale of the athletes for them to actually fight for gold, silver, or bronze medal?
Absolutely. Good one. These are the kind of things that we need to be hearing. This will serve as a motivation if you are going to participate in any of the games, and that there's a special incentive for you to go out there and do your thing. This serves as a motivation, because winning a medal itself in the Olympic does not really come with any sort of cash attached to it. But if your government is is supporting you and says if you perform, if you win a medal, there are some special bonuses attached to this medal, I think it's a good one, and I think this should really spur the team on to go ahead and really go out there and bring home the medals.
Salifu, I've seen corporate organizations, the likes of Zenith Bank, Fidelity Bank, GT Bank, Access Bank, coming, to support the team at this point in time. Don't you think it's too late, or it's never late or never at this point in time when the Olympic Games kicks off in Tokyo?
Yeah, it's better to be late than never. And if you look, and one thing is that whatever anybody may say about this present Nigeria team, Nigeria to the Olympic, or whatever anybody may say about the government arrangement for the team, I think there are some things that when certain things are being done, you need to appreciate the government a little for what they have done. For instance, this is the first time in recent time. We need to commend this minister for some of the things that he has done so far. This is the first time in recent time that our Nigerian team is going to the Olympic without the usual cry that say fund has not been released, this has not been released. And if you look at it for this time, for the first time in recent time, we are going to the Olympic mostly with the private support. We see private individuals, private company coming in to support the team. I think the minister has to be commended for this initiative of his adopt athlete initiative, which has a yield positive result. And that is why you don't have much about say money has not been released, money has not been released. The usual cries of money has not been released, has not arrived this year. And this president, this minister has to be giving the kudos for be able to do that and to be able to bring in corporate body to support the team for the first time in recent time. If not, before now, what you normally hear is that it is after the Olympic, after the game, after the game that you now see corporate body coming to celebrate the team, coming to celebrate whoever win the gold medal. If you don't win, nobody get to identify with you. But for the first time in recent year, corporate body are coming behind. Out of 58 athletes that are going to participate, we have over 20 something athletes being adopted by private government and state government, being sponsor their preparation for this Olympic. And now recently we have almost about 150 million have also been donated in support of the basketball team, coming from corporate body, Zenith Bank, Access Bank, GTB Bank, and then recently Fidelity Bank also supported it with 15 million. So I think this is the good initiative, and it will go along, and that's why the minister is saying that motivation, who's motivation, special motivation, awaiting the team. It's not saying backing on the government form. Private support.
My own fear is not about the private support. At this point in time, we need the private support for them to be able to do well in the Olympics. But I'm just saying, is it not late? Right about now, we know in some cases there are some few people who just collect the money and put the money in their pocket, and everything will just go down the drain. I'm just pointing out, is it not just too late for the preparation of the teams?
Well, I do not think it's late. I think it's coming actually at the right time. What would have said if the support hadn't even come at all? So I think the support is coming at the right time, and this should be a source of motivation to the athletes. At least they know that some corporate, entities back home in Nigeria are solidly behind them while they are out there flying the green, white, green flag out there in Tokyo. So I think it's coming just at the right time, and it's the way to go.
And to add to it, if you look at the basketball, for instance, the basketball team, for instance, in 2016, when that team went for the Rio Olympic, and how the team was able to participate in the Rio Olympic? Before that, the team win the Afro basketball tournament in Tunisia, 2015. So the then federation of NPFL, the prize money of $1 million that was supposed to be paid for that Afro basketball team, the leadership of the federation then Nancy, don't pay this money to us. Put the money in the account of the FIBA. In the account of FIBA Africa, and when we are going to Olympic, release this money for that was what the money they were able to use to prepare for the Olympic then. But now that we are never if not for the initiative of the adopt athletes initiative that the private body are coming and consider the fragile economy we have at the moment, government have a lot of things to do. The team will have still be battling how to move, and that is how to move here and not to move here. And we thank God that the private sectors are coming in, but just like your fear that is coming late. What about the usual corruption and some people are now beginning to smile. Okay, it's an opportunity to get themselves rich. But one good thing about this is that most of the athletes that are being adopted, this money, according to the minister, according to the guideline we have seen, pay directly to the athlete account. There is no any intermediate or there's no any third party between. The money go directly to the athlete account.
Of course, no doubt about it. The money goes directly to the athlete account, and I hope that this would actually serve as a motivation for Team Nigeria ahead of the start of the Olympic Games. Still talking about the Olympics, right about now, we'll move straight to tennis, where Haruna has been seeded at 15 for the table tennis men's singles. We know that our own Team Nigeria captain, Quadri Haruna, has been, been seeded at top 15 among the players that will be competing in the men's single in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. We know that the Nigerian Tennis Federation has actually 4 athletes that will be be representing Nigeria in that particular one. The likes of Olajide Omotayo will be which is seeded 49 in that particular one.
Actually,
in the men's single, also we have this top Egyptian woman, Aziz, is seeded 28 in that particular one. While our own in the female singles, we have our own Nigerian Ofyong Deme is seeded 53 among 17 athletes competing in the women's single event. While 7 times Olympian, talking about Olufunke Oshonaike, she's actually no seeded at 60th position in that particular one. Nigeria will be presenting for athletes in the table tennis event. Do you think we have the quality of players to actually pick, if not a gold medal, a bronze medal? We know that Quadri Haruna has been in the best form at this point in time. Looking at Olajide Omotayo is a rising star. We know what he can able to do in that particular one. Looking at Ofyong and Funke Oshonaike, experienced lad in that particular one. She has attended 7 times Olympics in that particular one. But looking at Team Nigeria in the table tennis event, do we have the quality for us to upset the Asian team? Talking about China, Japan, which we all know that when it comes to table tennis, this is one of the best sports at the Olympics.
Well, talking about an upset might be stretching our luck a bit too far, but I think we're going to do well. I mean, what more can you say about Haruna? I mean, he's the best player on the continent, seeded 15th, worldwide. I mean, I think this is the highest ranking he has attained in recent times. And no doubt he's the captain of Team Nigeria, so so much is expected from table tennis and especially from Haruna. Of course, Oshonaike, I mean, veteran of the game, one of the best players in Africa and by extension in the continent. I mean, she'll be participating in her 7th Olympics, and I'm sure this might be her last Olympics, and I'm sure she will want to, retire from, table tennis with a bang. So I expect them to really go far in the tennis event, in the table tennis event rather. So let's hope that the table tennis contingent will come up with a medal. I think they will.
So sadly, Shegun Toriola will be actually missing out in this particular one. Salifu, are you confident about this particular 4-man team to the Olympics?
Yeah, in the era of table tennis, we are not even going to come with a medal. We are sure of one thing. Funke Olusegun is going to win an award for being consistent in 7 Olympia.
Yes.
So definitely he will have to come with a medal of an award. I mean, a medal for that one. And at the same time, as much as I don't have much trust that the Oshonaike may likely finish or get into the medal stage or the podium stage. But at least the like of Haruna Quadri and Jide Omotayo, they are at the top there. For instance, the Haruna Quadri seeded 15. Forget the seed. The seed is judged by the number, and at the same time, we have seen just like you always normally have in the long tennis. If somebody who seeded 49 can come to upset number 1 seed.
Absolutely.
Serena Williams has been upset severally by or even unseeded players. So Haruna Quadri seeded 15. Give it to out of 65 players who are going to compete for a table tennis medal. You are out of 55. That means you have out of 55, you are seeded 15. You have over 50 players behind you. Even the the Egyptian who is always a threat to him in Africa is even seeded 28. That's to get to show the quality of Haruna Quadri is made of. And with Haruna Quadri, anything can happen. We see that at that top level. All you need. By the time he was at the quarterfinal at the last Olympic. If he get up to this time, be able to get to the quarterfinal, and the quarterfinal, anything can happen. At least for sure, Haruna Quadri, he wanted to write his name in gold this time around, right? Because he may not got good, but for sure he would like to get to the medal table by this time around.
Of course, Haruna Quadri would like to get...
Those Japanese and those Asians are very fast.
Of course, no doubt about it. Haruna Quadri would like to get his name on the medals table at the start of the Olympic. But for now, we'll go for a short break, and when we return, the NPFL, still talking about basketball, still talking about football. Victor Osimhen is in the news today, but just stay tuned and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round. Sports Orbit. We make the world go round. Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Thank you for staying with us. It's still the Sports Orbit right here on the Leadership Podcast studio. We'll go straight to the slamming and talking game where our own Nigerian Tigers were actually defeated by the US counterpart in that particular one that played in Las Vegas yesterday. The scoreline was 62 to our own Tigers, and also the US women's team were just all over the place. They actually defeated us with 93 points in that particular one. The game, which was arranged to prepare for both sides for the upcoming Tokyo Olympic Games, the America were totally dominant of the Tigers in that particular. Nigerian side were restricted to just 30.6% shooting during the game, while their folks shot was 53.8% overall in that particular one. The American side also had scored Nigeria in all the four quarters of the game through only by 1 point in the third quarter. Looking at this game, we know we are going to be playing the US in the Olympics. Is it just the rehearsal of what you're going to see at the Olympics? But we know that our own Tigers are the African champions. Do you see any major upset at the Olympics at the start of the games?
Well, I wouldn't say I was too surprised with the outcome of this result. I mean, the Americans, absolutely blew our team away by a whooping 31 points. So it could serve as a rehearsal, but at the same time, things like this help you to prepare better. So I feel since they are also playing the Americans, when the competition starts properly, I think this should serve as a lesson. They should work on where they were lacking in the course of the game. And I think when the competition begins proper, the Nigerians should be able to do something different and maybe come up with a win, or at least, even if they are going to lose, not by such a scandalous margin.
Okay.
Yeah.
We saw the Tigers against the United States. They defeated them in that particular one. It was just surprising to so many, but they actually had their own. Before this match, were you thinking that we were going to beat the United States of America?
Before this match, there's no how I was so surprised that they lost to the US. Because the US are always they are always a strong team any day, any time.
As long as basketball is
concerned. So I'm also happy that it happened this time around. So it goes to show that, and it goes to prepare our ladies more. And I'm not even disappointed by the defeat. But I'm not disappointed or discouraged by the defeat that they haven't been beaten by the Tigers, by the US ladies. There's no way that the team will go to the Olympics. I'm not doing, because even before now, our strongest point and the only strongest point in basketball was always the Tigers. I will have far more confidence in the Tigers than the Tigers until the Tigers now begin to surprise us, beating US, beating Argentina. But I still belong on those believe in these ladies that they can do a lot at the Olympics. Remember the last World Cup, they were able to they were able to speak for and create African record, finished on the 8th. So I have a strong confidence and believe that the ladies are going to do something at the Olympics. Don't be discouraged by the beat. Don't be discouraged by the US victory over them.
Don't be discouraged by the US victory over the Tigers. This is actually coming from the sports editor himself, and hopefully we should see them having to compete at the Olympics. We know that they're going to be playing the US in the group stage, and hopefully we're wishing the Nigerian Tigers all the best in that particular one. Still talking about the Olympics, because it is the news. It is what everybody is actually looking up to at this point in time. A former Nigerian 100 meters record holder, talking about 2 times African champion, Shegun Ogunkoya, has said he's confident that the Nigerian athletics team to the Tokyo Olympic Games, he's confident that they are going to win about 4 medals at the Olympic Games. In the chat with our correspondent, he said the likes of Blexing or Hagbari, Brume, and Nigeria's biggest medal hopeful is still actually looking at the likes of Toby Amuson, Divine Oduduri, are one of those athletes can be able to deliver the goods for Nigeria. Alpha, do you think what Ogukoya is saying is in right track, or we are just living in the male dreams and that you're not going to attend that feat?
Well, not
4 medals at the Olympics.
well, not to sound like a prophet of doom, but I really, I really think 4 medals is stretching it too far. Maybe 2 medals, maybe from Blessing and from SA. But I mean, where are the other 2 coming from?
Toby Amuson is there.
Well,
Divine Oduduru is there. He's been in a big form at this point in time.
Yes, I do. But realistically speaking, apart from Blessing and SA, I really don't see these other people really doing much. So maybe 2 medals, fine, but 4 medals, I'm not really sure of that.
4 medals is not really sure of that. We saw at the World Championship in Doha, we saw what Toby Amuson did. She finished 4th in the 100 meters hurdle event, and we have seen her. She has been, improving. We have saw Exi Brume also be improving. Divine Oduduru also. Do you go in line with what Alpha has said, that he's just confident in the likes of Blessing or Kagbari and Exi Brume to deliver the goods? What of the athletes like Divine Oduduru, Toby Amuson?
In athletics, women are always our strong point. And in as much as Blessing Okabare is a top-ranked athlete with a name to go with, if we are going to have a medal from athletics, I'm always looking at the way of Eze Brume and Toby Amuson. Not even Blessing, because Blessing sometimes where you can't so much on Blessing. Blessing is disappointing.
Exactly.
But she's rated about 3rd in the world at this point in time.
It has happened severally on different occasions. Sometimes even our starting point may be more disappointing. Sometimes we don't pray for that. But my strong hope and confidence is on Eze Brume and Toby Amuson. And just like Gogo said, although he didn't give us the call of the medal.
Exactly.
He didn't give us the color of the medal. So any medal is medal. But for sure, we are going to have a medal from athletics by the special grace of by his grace and the special grace of God. But we can't say of the color of the medal. Let's not deceive ourselves. We can't say of the color of the medal. But anything that comes from the Olympics is medal.
Of course, anything that comes from the Olympics is medal. We have about 22 athletes that will be absolutely be representing Nigeria at the athletics event. And we're hopeful that we get enough medal in that particular one. Even the relay team also will be competing in that particular track and field event at the Olympics. Still talking about the Olympics, where Japanese Prime Minister has hit lowest rating ahead of the Olympics. That we're talking about the COVID-19 pandemic in that particular one. We know that COVID-19 is actually not ravaging the world at this point in time, but they're saying that the coronavirus pandemic has gone below the expectation. Is this a good news for the games?
It's not good for the game, and at the same time, even I'm not even comfortable the way Japanese are keeping the restriction too much. We saw what happened at the Europe, the Europe Championship and the Copa America Championship. We see a lot of people moving here and there. I don't know why the Japans are trying to lock everybody down, and even the Japanese are trying to even against their own government going ahead with the Olympics. And that's why the public perception about the Prime Minister is dropping down, because they are not willing. They are not willing support of their government going ahead with the Olympics in the midst of this rising COVID threat in their country. But even as that, but there's a vaccine already, and a lot of people are being vaccinated. What is the essence of the vaccine?
Of course,
people are being vaccinated against this COVID. But yes, and there is a lot of issues put here and there, making life difficult for the athlete and the officials who are coming for the Olympics.
Of course, we know that fans are the major stakeholders when it comes to the Olympic Games. We know most or not even all the athletes actually depend on fans for them to actually motivate and cheer them to victory. Now that fans will not be allowed at the Olympics venue, do you think it will affect the quality of performance of all those athletes that will be competing?
Yes, it will. Sports is a spectator game. And when you are either on the pitch or on the tracks, you feed off energy from your spectators. But in this time around, that energy will be lacking. So, irrespective of whatever, yes, the games must go on, but it will affect performances. And, you won't even blame the Japanese people for the low rating with the Prime Minister, because, for the 5th day, Japan has recorded over 1,000 cases of infection. So, a lot of the Japanese public didn't even want these Olympics to go on in the first place. So I understand the low rating of the, the prime minister. Of course, a lot of money must have gone down by the Japanese government, by IOC. So one way or the other, the game has to go on because sponsors' money are in this. So one way or the other, they want these games to go on so that they can see if they can recoup at least some of the money they invested in this game. So let's see how it goes, and let's hope that we have an enjoyable Olympic Games irrespective of non-spectators
of course
watching.
Not spectators in that particular one. We shall see how things pans out in that particular one. But moving away from the Olympics, we return back home where we say charity actually begins as well at this point in time. Now we are talking about the NPFL league, talking about the Nigerian Professional Football League, where Kano Pillars, Nasarawa United win and having get near to close gap on Aqua United, who are the leaders in that particular one. We saw action return yesterday at the NPFL, where Rivers United held Aqua United 1-1 at in Port Harcourt in that particular one. Eyimba were 2-1 winners over Jigawa Golden Stars. Plateau United defeated FC Ofayimba 4-0. It ended right there at the New Job Stadium. Nasarawa United 1-0 winners over MFN. Katsina United, Lobby Stars, they drew 1-1. Adamawa United, Schonstein also. There was no goal to separate in both sides in that particular one. That one ended 0-0. Kano Pillars defeated Dankada FC 2-0 at the Sani Abacha Stadium. Hatna FC actually defeated Rangers United 2-1. Wairiki Tories were 1-0 winners over Abia Warriors at the Platinum Stadium in Gombe. Warri Wolves actually devolve I beg your pardon. Kwara United 1-0 in that particular. Looking at the NPFL log, do you still think that Aqua United can actually win at the NPFL title?
It's looking very unlikely. At a point, it seemed like Aqua United were runaway leaders, but with their defeat this weekend, Nasarawa United and Kano Pillars are closing the gap. And I think the gap is now just about 3 points. So the way it is, I really doubt if Aqua United can hold on. But let's expect a photo finish at the end of the season. And these three teams will fight till, I think this title will go down to the wire.
Of course, this title will go down to the wire. Looking at the table, after match day 33, Aqua United are in 61 points, followed by the Nasarawa United with 58 points. Kano Pillars are still with the same points margin with Nasarawa United. Gimba with 57 points. Rivers United 56 points. Aquara United with 52 points. Do you think the likes of Eyimba, the likes of Rivers United and Aquara United still stand the chance to win the NPFL?
Well, they have 5 matches to go. Out of these 5 matches, I 15 points to take away from the 5 matches to go. So it's still open. It's still open, just like Mr. Afasi. It's going to be a photo finish. And that's what. There's nothing more and nothing less about that. Of those 3 teams at the top will fight to the end, and even those behind the top 3, within the top 6, all of them will fight to the end.
Of course, they will actually fight to the end. It was one man that actually fought to the end yesterday in that particular one. Talking about Victor Oseme right there in Napoli. He actually scored 4 brilliant goals for the Napoli side in that 12-0 victory over Bassman and Noel in that particular friendly. Are we going to see Victor Oseme getting to banging goals at the beginning of the season? Because we know that he did the same kind of feat during the last season preseason. Are we confident that he's going to do well?
Very, very confident. I mean, he started this preseason in blistering form and started like a house on fire. And let's only hope that he stays injury free. If Victor Oseme can stay injury free, I tell you, Victor Oseme should be among the highest goal scorers at the end of the season in the Serie A.
It's look good as he's going to enjoy under the new coach. He's going to enjoy that good because we have the fear that since Gattuso brought him to Napoli has left, we suffer. But it's look at the new coach. He believes in so much in him, and he's beginning to entrust that most confidence in him. So let's see how it goes.
Of course, his new coach wants his confidence to be top notch for Napoli. Right about now, our time is up. Just to tell you that Manchester City are keen to offer Ryan Mahrez a new deal at the Etihad Stadium. Also, can speak on Onacho transfer and that particular one. He looks to actually move from that particular club to a greener pasture where he's going to fly into it in the coming season. This is the package for today, right here on Sports Orbit on the Leadership Podcast. It is great. It was great having the Leadership Sports editor right here, Stalifu Usman, on the show, and also having Alpha Achu on the show. I got it correctly this time. My name, okay. This is where we come to the end of this episode. Thank you for actually staying tuned for this show. Also to you, our listening to us from everywhere. You are. Thank you for staying with us right on to the end of this episode. Remember, you can actually listen to more shows that suit you in your interest on podcast leadership.ng, and also you can subscribe and follow us at leadership nga for more interesting content. Until we come your way again, stay safe and bye bye. God bless.